Hey everybody, this is McNeil Entertainment here. Today, we're going to be going over the first couple of chapters in my book. Chapter 1. Chapter 1, it all starts here. The first paragraph, if you've seen it, seen my video for me reading it. If not, I'll be posting the link down in the description for the video. But yeah, for chapter 1, it truthfully was a cool and partly cloudy skies on the evening of March 5th, which was true. I did go out in jeans, shoes. I was wearing a hoodie though, but I can't remember what hoodie. I used blue hoodie as an example, and yeah, the dance was only for people that were in the junior high, aka the middle school. And the ones that were chaperoning the dance was the principal, the counselor, and some of the teachers. They had awesome music playing that night. And if y'all attended the same school I did, which I know only like 5 of my subscribers went to the same school as I do, not going to be naming names, but you know the gym that I'm talking about. There was the new gym, and then there was the dim lit gym that actually had the track going all the way around on top, which on the other end of the gym was also a swimming pool that not many people know about. Continuing through chapter 1, I was actually hustling my butt just to get up there. And if y'all know, I'm not going to be naming where I live. I did that just to keep my butt safe. But if y'all know, this little town that I'm in, it has some pretty steep hills. Very steep hills. And if your legs are not used to incline, oh boy, you better be having a ride all the way up the hill. Otherwise, your muscles and your legs are going to be sore. And the school, it was technically half a mile away from the house I used to live, but it was 0.65 instead of 0.5. Because the hills and the inclines, yeah. But yeah, it's in the second paragraph where George, pretty much in the story, I'm George. I don't like to use my real name out there when I do stories because I don't want to have to change my name. But George, well, I was truthfully having the best time of my life at that dance. Yes, there actually was strobe lights. Strobe lights were actually, yeah, as soon as you were to enter in through the gym, through the double doors of the hallway, you pretty much had, okay, let's just say you're entering in to a room. The left side is over here, the right side is over here. So in the far right corner is where they had the DJ with those lights. And I was doing a lot of dances though. And this all took place before I needed these. Yes, there was a time in my life where I had to have these. and still do, and a time where I didn't have to have them. And in another video, I will be doing my dances that I did during the dance, so I could educate you on the ring rope. So I will be disabling the comments for when I do the worm and for when I do the ring rope. I'm still going to leave the ability to leave a like and dislike. And I did get compliments on my dances, though. Because back then, I wasn't as big as I am now. I was about 270 pounds lighter. I'll say that for now. And what it says about, in the third paragraph, after about 45 minutes at the dance, he looked at his phone and decided to dance for 10 more minutes. That was true. That is true. Sorry I keep having my head go to this area. I'm used to a camera being in this direction. I'm not used to it being like right here. But yeah, I did check out the time that I did have. The phone that I did have at the time, it was the Samsung Propel A767, which was actually a pretty neat slider during its time. And I did technically dance for 45 minutes, but I was decided to tack on 5 more minutes, so that way I would have 10 minutes just to get home. And since I was booking it, I was booking it. Because on Friday nights, SmackDown, WWE SmackDown, was airing at about 7 o'clock Friday nights on the CW channel, or the CW network. Before they moved to a lot of these other ones I can't even remember, because they move around too much. But yeah, it's true. My former friend, I'm saying former friend, she introduced me to my ex-girlfriend at the time. Not naming names. If y'all know me during school, you're going to know who I'm talking about. Please. If you don't remember, please try to remember. And when I did catch a look at this woman, though, she truthfully was stunning. To a lot of people, they would not have liked her. They would have called her ugly, but to me, I don't know what they were talking about. Yeah, I don't know what they were talking about. She was gorgeous. She had nice blondish brown hair. Can't remember what to call that. It's where the hair is both brown and blonde. Yeah, she had a nice set of hair, nice glasses, very beautiful eyes, which I unfortunately can't remember her eye color. But yeah, her name, Allison Mary Renwing. That is not her real name. I'm avoiding real names just so I don't get sued or arrested. So I'm pretty much going to be leaving the comments turned off because I don't want any of you just trying to guess. And as we move over to sorry, I keep yawning. I can't help it. But as we go back to the conversations, as I was leaving, I did hear her say, I'm in love at first sight with this guy. Just met George and you're already in love? Yes, I believe he is the man of my dreams. As I was leaving, that's what I heard. But yeah, as I was hustling home, it turned cold out. It was a Minnesota spring, so of course it's going to be cold. Which is why I did wear a sweatshirt, though it was more or less of a hoodie, but I can't really remember what it was, because it was like 12 years ago, man. 12 years ago. But yeah, it says when he got up to his room, he received a text from Allison. I did not actually get a text when I was going to my bedroom. I actually was texting while I was walking. I gained the ability to text without even looking at the screen. I knew the keyboard so well on that phone. But yeah, everything from the entire text messages, those truthfully were the actual messages. I actually can remember off the top of my mind. I know it's a little creepy, but I don't care. It's part of the story, because this part is true, everything part of it, except the part where I said it did not happen, or blah 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 again. True or false, that's pretty much what I'm trying to get out here with some of my answers. And my bedtime personally was 11 o'clock p.m. And later on my 8th grade year, I got disciplined on it from my parents, all because they overheard from my bedroom door. And it was like 2 in the morning, I'm still up, I'm still awake, wide awake, talking to one of my ex-girlfriends, but that's way different. Way different. And not part of the story. But sorry, I'll keep on track. But yeah, me and her, we were actually holding hands in the lunchroom. And yeah, in this school, we could not really show any PDA or affection like that. It was against school rules. So we pretty much just were holding hands and technically holding legs, if you want to call it that, because my foot and hers was intertwined. Don't know what you'd call that, but yeah. Her locker, it was truthfully 15 lockers away from mine. And my locker was about 5-6 lockers away from the study hall room. And where it says they both took pictures of each other in the hallway, that itself was partially true. It wasn't her and I, it was just I that took the picture. I was unable to send it. Not going to get into a reason why I was unable to send it, but just trust me, because if you were in your early teens, back in the late 2000s, early 2010s, you'll understand. This was before they had unlimited plans, back before when it cost like very expensive to send even a basic picture. But yeah. And I did go on a special transportation van. My parents didn't like me taking a bus home. I could have walked home, yes, but they didn't want anything bad to happen to me. Even though they do know me that well. When Allison was on the debate team, it actually wasn't a debate team. If I was to say the actual thing of what it was, I have a feeling only some of you would understand, but a big majority of you will not be able to understand. She was not in the debate team, she was in the speech team. And the speech team is kind of closely related to the debate team, but I can't really remember, because I've been out of school since 2015. I really don't know. but I was in tennis. Yeah, I was in tennis. The shorts that they gave me, part of the uniform, yeah, they, let's just say back then, they would have looked like a pair of Speedos on me. So basically at the tennis meets, they instructed me to wear sweatpants or jeans because I didn't look good in shorts. Well, the shorts of what the shorts look like would be kind of like what the shortest shorts look like on a woman. But picture that on me, and yeah, it's not a pretty sight. But back to another paragraphs. Yeah, when George got home, I hopped onto my gaming console to play SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 on the PS2. I created myself and her in the game, along with the memory card. No idea where that is anymore. But I do know that, well, I created her and I in the game. It looked just like her, to be honest. And my character looked just like me back in the day. Back when I was smaller. And younger. And, yeah, she did call me later up during that time I was playing my game. She pretty much, she truthfully did walk into a pole, and she gave me the finishing maneuver name called the Love Struck Pile Driver because she was love struck. She walked into the canopy pole right outside the junior high. And I did tell her to be careful, though. That was true. And I kind of kept the wrestling name a secret, but not really secret. The Love Struck Pile Driver, you pretty much, it's kind of, if you've seen Mickie James, Mick Kick, her DDT Mick Kick, pretty much you already know what the Love Struck Pile Driver looks like, where Mickie James has her opponent's head, then she raises her arm, she kicks up, then drops opponent face down. Mine is only just like a tiny jump to the point where their face literally meets the pavement, and they kiss pretty much the ground. The reason why I call it Love Struck Pile Driver is because why ain't it a Love Struck DDT? Wait a minute. I made a big error. It wasn't called the Love Struck Pile Driver. I apologize. It was actually called the Love Struck DDT. Because I had to think about a moment of what a pile driver versus DDT looked like. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm not going to... I do technically have two finishers that I did create. Love Struck Pile Driver and the DDT variant. I called it the Love Struck DDT in the game. But in the story, I called it Love Struck Pile Driver, and I just realized my error. But yeah, in the DDT, again, the face would hit the ground, make them feel like they were love struck. But yeah, me and her, we pretty much did technically have a contest to see on who would, between me and her friend and boyfriend, my friend at the time, we did technically see on who was going to be getting their first kiss, which it was me and her. April 16th. That's the day that it actually happened. The time, yes, that's also correct, too. We partially made ourselves scarce, but I'm not going to be getting into that. Because you know the story from the thing. And people that know me know it, so I'm not going to go ahead with that. But I did brag about me getting a kiss to the tennis team. That was true. Me getting a picture of me and my ex making out. That was true. And I did not show them the picture until about 25 days later. And they said, "Attaboy, Jeff, attaboy." I'll never forget the guy that actually said that. I actually miss that dude very much. He's still alive. But as we go into chapter 2 for the unexpected breakup. To be honest though, back in 7th grade, I truthfully do not remember what was my last class of the school day. I can't remember. So I just said English class because I really don't know, because I don't remember. I did wait for the bell to ring. I was minding my own business. And we got bussed over to the high school that was 6.5 miles away. And the building is, well, the junior high and the high school, they're pretty much scheduled for demolition in real life. But back to the story, it was the building that's right beside the high school. It was the former school that they did some other classes in, but they shortly abandoned it after causing taxpayers millions of dollars. But yeah, as I was changing into my uniform though, this was when I got it. I went back to the locker room. I pulled up a text on my phone. It was from Allison. And the other members of the tennis club that were in the gym with me, the locker room. The others that were in the locker room, they were like, "Dude, are you alright?" Because the second I got done reading that sentence was 2 sentences saying, "Sorry, George, but I can't be your girlfriend anymore. Everyone found out and I have to say goodbye. I'm sorry." The note truthfully said, "Sorry, Jeffrey, but I can't be your girlfriend anymore. Everyone found out. Goodbye." That's what the note truthfully said. And I still remember that off the top of my head. Still wish I had that note. But it would have gotten lost. I was trying to figure out why she left me for the longest time. And I truthfully did resort to witchcraft. But I was an emotional wreck. This is roughly around the time where I was new to religion, I was new to Jesus Christ and God. So I really wasn't brought up with a religious upbringing, so to say. And but yeah, I did have cheeks that were tear stained because I had tears falling from my eyes. Oh my god, I was so depressed. Nothing could cheer me up. Nothing back then. Wrestling wouldn't cheer me up. Animals didn't cheer me up. Nothing did. I was showing signs of moderate to severe depression back then. And I did tell my pastor, he did tell me that there are other fish in the sea as well. That was true. Because he was trying to comfort me. But later on in the story, the conversation in the story between me and my mom never happened. Never happened. Yeah, right after that, on the paragraph where it said that he wanted to commit suicide, we realized that by killing himself, he would not wind up in hell for all of eternity. That paragraph was false. I never even contemplated it. I was living life to the best of my ability. I never grew up or took religious education class inside of a Methodist church. I was attending and was going through the confirmation class at the Lutheran church I was going to. Yeah, you pretty much know the Lutheran church, if you know me. But if not, it's the LCMS from the previous video. I'll let you check that out. Will not be including that in the description. But yeah, I was searching for a new girlfriend. About pretty much right after she left me. And I was on myyearbook.com, which is now meet2me.com. That site is filled with nothing but bots. It's very rare to find someone on Meet Me. Very rare, which I had that very lucky opportunity to meet my current fiance off of that site. But it was on their cheap version, even though both apps are free, called Scout, Skout. But yeah, I was on multiple dating sites during my teen years, just trying to find the woman for me, and I'm still trying to fill that void that Allison left in my heart. I decided to add a little bit of comedy to the story when I put, "Oh boy, he was angrier than a Democrat in an anti-abortion rally." I truthfully was angry because she did truly have another boyfriend. And she got him very quickly. And I did believe that she did kick me to the curb, and I still believe that. Everything when I was in the dream, not the dream, but everything in the story regarding the whole breakup and the feelings, some of that was genuine, but in reality, off story and true story right now, that was true. I really was so depressed. Nothing would cheer me up. Only Allison could cheer me up. And another fiction part of the story was where I had my buddy go confront Allison. That was fiction. That was false. It was mid-May of 2010. And she and we did get back together for only a brief period. And I truthfully did not see it coming. Becky Barstow, she pretty much handed me the note from Allison. That note, that is truthfully what it had on it. Truthfully. And the story, yeah, we did get back together by right at the end of the school year. It was May 31st, 2010. The note that says, "George, or in reality case, Jeff. I know I promised that I would never leave you again, but summertime is coming around. I cannot deal with us being apart. I still love you. She never said, I love you, or I still love you in that note. Pretty much every word of that was true, except the I still love you part. She did sign it, and I kept that note for quite some time, from 8th grade through my junior year of high school. Had it in my desk. No idea where it is now. It probably is at the dumps in tons and tons, billions of piles of trash by now. Disintegrated. And oh boy. Mentally, right after I saw that note, my mind turned to mush. I was an emotional wreck that nobody has ever seen at that school, not even the staff. Everyone truthfully was concerned about me. And when it says mental health practitioners, that never happened. That truthfully never happened. But yes, it was true, I did begin serial dating. One go right after the other. Got to the point where going off the chapter to real life, I've had more girlfriends than anyone could ever think of. And that's true. The running count later on in the story, that's actually true right then and there. But it's roughly in that same range of digits, but it's only off by 3. In my area, about a couple miles out of town, I was taking the bike trail with my bicycle at the time. I decided to meet up with my ex-girlfriend. We were supposed to be meeting right at the railroad crossing. And we were going to do in the forest. And by the time I was halfway down there, my phone rang and I looked at my phone for a text. She wanted to meet at the boat landing, which I did know where that was. I did. Used to go fishing down there lots of times. The reason why I don't go fishing in that one spot anymore is because of that very reason. It brings back too many memories. And we did meet right then and there at that boat landing before they added a little parking lot to it before they did that. We were just talking for about a couple minutes, for like 3 minutes, then she had to depart back home. Then in my head I'm like, what the hell? This is it? Seriously? I came all that way, all that biking that tired my legs out just for nothing? Oh, I was pissed. The very last day that Allison and I talked was August 10th. That's actually the last day that we both sent each other any message online for the next couple of years. And it was from my end. I did type pretty much on my old computer I used to have. I did type it all onto a Word document. Again, it took, when it's in the story where it said it took me a week, it took me about a month. I had to type every text message, a running count of 5,201 messages by text. 157 messages from Facebook. But all of that's gone. It really is. I accidentally opened my mouth back in my 11th grade year of high school. Yeah, my parents, they did divorce. My dad didn't bring up anything about my ex-girlfriend at all. Then, starting for the last portion where it goes from pretty much anything from my stepdad. I never had a stepdad. It was my real dad that passed away. But in the story, that's false. But I did move in with him, though. So I wanted to be closer to work. But back to the story. Oh, and I did get a cease and desist notice from the police back then. Because of that one song I did, it was a diss where I included a lot of sensitive information. That was true. Yes, I was washing dishes at a restaurant. That was true. Again, I did say that I was a practicing Christian that practiced witchcraft for a while, but until it scared me with that one spell. Everything that she said I was true. Yes, I can get too loving, too obsessive, and too possessive. I did from 8th grade to 11th grade, I tried so hardest to get her back. I was being so persistent and stubborn. Chapter 3, an attempt to get her back. I did attend her graduation ceremony. I even attended her grad party. I even took a picture with her in the high school, right outside the auditorium. Sorry if I'm having my head hang down like this. Just trying to have y'all see my eyes because of the glare I get from that to this. And I'm still having my eyes focused around here. But yeah. I did take pictures of her on stage, walking off, and around the stage. It was more or less a hallway, a foyer that we were in. I miss being in that school, though. And when she graduated, I truly felt my time was out. My time to get her back. And I failed to do so. I was coming up with plans upon plans, even though that she was out of high school. I was finding a lot of ways to get her back, but not one of them was working. Here comes the next segment in the story. If any of y'all know me, and I mean truly know me, you're going to be knowing who I'm going to be talking about. My ex-wife is going to be coming in the picture in this story. I didn't tell my dad that my ex-wife, me and my ex-wife, we were kind of dating, but we were not kind of dating. I was expecting a 26-year-old, not a 50-year-old. I got catfished. Big time. She did lie about her age, though. She truthfully had no teeth at all. She was... yeah. She was a senior citizen. I wish my dad would have saved me from that instead of having to go along with it, because they did travel a long time. I would have ended up blocking her number and everything. I would have ended up changing my number completely. Yes, I did propose to her in the bread aisle. If y'all seen that video, you can identify which store it was and is. That store is still around. Even the aisle itself still exists. My ex-girlfriend from high school was working at a local store that's no longer here anymore. This was back when me and my ex-wife were still dating. I did introduce her in the store as my ex-girlfriend from school was a cashier. And then she also worked at another store that, yeah. Pretty much the point where it says, "Hey Allison, I'm not sure if you remember, but this is Jean, and she is now my wife. I am married now." That happened about a year after high school. And well, I did get married in March. So it was May when I introduced her as my wife. And 2014 was when I introduced her to back when my ex-wife was my ex-girlfriend. She did use my ex-girlfriend from high school. She did use a jealous and facial tone that said that she was jealous. Her face even showed it. I was afraid that the cops would have been called and whatever, because I didn't want to deal with any of that. Jumping right along, my ex-wife, she was a psychopath. Before you call anyone a psychopath, I want you to explain how that person is a psychopath compared to my ex-wife. Again, I'm not naming names just so I can protect my butt from any liabilities. Every day from 2015 to 2016, my ex-wife was verbally, and she was abusive all the way around. I was scared of her. Why didn't I call the cops? Again, I was scared. I did not know what to do. She would accuse me of cheating a lot. She tried to get my dad on the registry, the sex offender registry, even though he didn't do nothing wrong. She was just that crazy. She, pretty much this is going to result all the way in me going to the rest of the story. It's about me and my ex-wife. So, y'all pretty much know that. Yes, I was arrested for a couple of days. Well, I was in jail for a couple of days, and I was released. And yeah, I was booked in jail from, let's see, it was 2016. It was May 20. Let me consult with my phone. I do remember the date. It was a Saturday. Let me go back to Google to find it. May 2016. Using this just to help me jog my memory. Oh yeah, May 21st. Saturday. 11:03 was when I was booked in the jail, the county jail. I was released Monday, the 23rd, at 4 o'clock. I couldn't go back to the house. But my mom did end up getting my clothes and everything I need. My dad made sure to protect all my electronics so my ex didn't damage anything of mine, which I am still happy that. But yeah, the morning after I returned, it was our final morning with my ex-wife, the last time I ever got to see her, and yeah, that morning she was smoking a cigarette, and I warned my ex-wife of how long the ash was getting at the end of her cigarette, but she wasn't paying attention. She let it fall on her right breast, right here, and she blamed me for it. That was when on the day I got arrested, but when I came back, the final day that I seen her, it was actually about 1 o'clock p.m. when she was booked into the county jail, then transported to a mental institution for the remainder of her days. But yeah, I did call the cops. The address, that was valid. That was true. The Franklin Police Department, Franklin, Minnesota, is not the right city, not the right department. That wasn't even the real officer's name. I don't remember the real officer's name. But all the charges that she had, yeah, they pretty much arrested her for that. Yeah. I did technically push her off of me just so I can actually escape to behind the cops. I've been telling people the story where the cops told me to grab something leathery, like a shoe or something, and the cops tased her. That was not true. The truth is, as soon as I seen the cops outside, I was pretty much on my back. She was on top of me. I pushed her over. She left marks on me. Marks on my neck. Marks right here. Including marks from my old laptop that I no longer have. They were right here and here. And that was enough evidence to put her away. But when I was in jail, all of that was true. I was scared. I've seen the movies and TV shows. My dad, George Sr., Jeff the First, he pretty much did go out to get her a pack of cigarettes. And not that long after he left, I called the cops because she struck me right here. She almost damaged my glasses. Right here with a closed fist. She was very hard. I'm not going to do it to myself. Very hard. And then she did an open fist. And with my own shirt at the time, she tried to strangle me with my own shirt. You know, the way that you can choke someone is like this. Pretend this is the the neck part of the shirt, and I'm pulling back. And the rest of my shirt was up to around my neck, so I couldn't breathe, but I was able to escape. So this part of the story of this chapter is with me escaping my ex-wife, pretty much having her be arrested nowhere near me again. Thank God. It was true that it felt weird going back to bed without my ex-wife. And I was actually very happy. Oh, I slept happy that night. But shortly after I did get out of jail, though, everyone that knew me blew up my phone, blew up my Facebook. Even family friends were asking my mom and my dad. It was all true. And I had my fingerprints taken. But yeah, I was still on probation for the next month or two. And that's pretty much the end of chapter 3. And yeah, I pretty much right at the end where it said that I had to blow off a couple dates, couple relationships because I was scared. That was true. I still have PTSD from that. More or less, it's called CPTSD, Complex Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder. That was the second most traumatic thing I've ever faced. First one would be losing my dad. Third one, I'm not going to get into the third one. I'm not going to get to that first one because I'll be crying if I knew. But yeah, look for another video of this at the end of the month. Hope this was a great explanation on the truth and the false of parts of the stories. But if you like this, don't forget to leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss any of my content. McNeil Entertainment, out.